Yes, so my people, welcome back to Gospel News. Information still there on our table as it happen. So, they say how Nigerian former Air Force officer take the supply weapons they give terrorists in Zamfara state. Now, police come they tell us, we know if inside this country where they call Nigeria now, we don't even know who to believe again. Army go they tell us like this, police go they brutalize people. Now the same police now they tell us say, oh, now we be the good people who say Air Force people. Say that they supply weapons, they give terrorists inside this country. I don't understand which side people should go again. This country don't confuse as far as I'm concerned. And then they say that the North is set for revolution. And this man of Sultan of Sokoto, he don't come out, come talk, say their hand no day inside who say, don't tell where they press this youth with it for the northern part of the country. Say, may they no protest, may they no burn down the country, may they no shut down the country. Say there is hope, but as it is now, say they don't leave them, or say the pressure done too much on them. Say, may they leave them, or say any day when they decide to raise their voice and speak up about Tinubu, I say then go do am. I say okay, oh, it good for them. If they like, may they speak up. Oh. If they not like, may they leave them like that. Because na them. Them with Yorubas, na them impose this Tinubu. We be say they sack everybody for Nigeria. They use hunger, they sack back everybody as it be. So we will go straight. The Nigerian Police Force High Command on Tuesday revealed how its operatives arrested a dismissed officer of the Nigerian Air Force, NAF, who has been supplying military camouflage and other accoutrement that belong to security operatives to bandits terrorizing Zamfara state. The police explained that the former NAF personnel, Ahmed Mohammed, attached to the Air Force base Kaduna State, only served in the Air Force for just 5 years before he was court-martialed by the military for a yet-to-be-revealed offense. The spokesman of the Nigerian police, Muyiwa Dejobi, an assistant commissioner of police, also disclosed that the dismissed personnel introduced sales of military camouflage and other accoutrement to Mushiri Abubakar, who had supplied different camps of criminal gangs. Adejobi said the duo had in the past supplied military camouflage to the notorious bandit Bello Tuji and his gang members who have been terrorizing the state. Parading the suspect at the headquarters of Special Tactical Squad Intelligence Response Team in Abuja, the police spokesman listed items recovered from both Mohammed and Abubakar as 10 sets of military camouflage uniforms and 10 pieces of camel pack. Other items recovered include 2 military heads, 3 cardigans, 3 t-shirts, 2 belts, and 3 anklets, adding that they were intercepted when they were transporting the items from Kaduna to Zamfara for the bandits. The senior police officer said on the 20th of December 2023 at about 12:30 hours, the operatives of the FIDSTS intercepted the movement of military accoutrement from Kaduna to Zamfara state, precisely Shinkafi local government area. In the process, a spot search was conducted and the following items were recovered, which I've just mentioned. The 2 suspects were arrested. The Mushiri Abubakar is a childhood friend of one Air Force personnel attached to the Air Force base in Kaduna State who served for only 5 years before being court-martialed and introduced the idea of selling military accoutrement to Mushiri Abubakar. Further investigation revealed that same Mushiri Abubakar had supplied military materials to the notorious Bello Tuji. Speaking further, the police spokesman told journalists that the efforts are on top gear to apprehend other criminal elements. And the operatives had resolved to dismantle the criminal syndicate, particularly those supplying arms and ammunition to bandits before going after the main criminals. According to him, the bandits were powerless if they were not holding guns and other ammunition, stressing that the network of how they get sophisticated weapons to intimidate innocent citizens would first be destroyed before they can get to them. Now, so they tell us, so this country don't kasura so. If all these forces, now them still they supply within the buy people inside this country. Kai, people will be say that means that before he even come out for the Air Force, they don't they supply since. And got some got people their hand they inside these things where they go on inside this country. It is say people just they do them for they know if you no get connection, you will feel they do all the things where they do for this country. You know feel try them. I couldn't hear waiting go soon happen for now to say they go shut down this country. I say well, it is their right to shut it down because they don't too much for this country. Tinubu, go and quench the fire that you are setting up. You know what you do.
Nigeria sitting or on a keg of gunpowder. Dr. Bati, your take on this story?
Okay, yes, you know, there have been a series of meetings in the northern part of the country, just as leaders in the south have also been meeting. Before now, there was the meeting of the coalition of northern groups, which was attended by leaders from the north. What happened yesterday was a meeting of, traditional rulers and religious leaders, the Northern Traditional Council at the Arewa House in Kaduna, under the chairmanship of the Sultan of Sokoto, who is both a traditional ruler and also the leader of the Muslim faithful in Nigeria. That meeting was attended also by security chiefs, Chief of Defense Staff, DG, DSS, all persons within the security space who had been invited to come and rub minds with the Northern Traditional Council as to the situation in the country. Now, it was also attended by governors and their representatives. In other words, it was a meeting of minds for Northern traditional rulers and religious leaders to review the state of the country. Now, this should not be surprising. Northern leaders have been meeting since 1959 to address the condition of the North within the Nigerian arrangement. And since that time, what have they been discussing? Majorly, they started discussing education, discussing the Nigerian arrangement, and how the Nigerian arrangement can benefit everybody. But this particular meeting of the Northern Traditional Council is coming against a special background. At a period that Nigeria has transited from an APC government to another APC government, and at a moment of great economic hardship, deprivation, and despair in the country. And not surprisingly, in the general statement made by the Sultan of Sokoto, chairman of that occasion, he highlighted all of this. What are some of the points made by the Sultan reflecting a meeting of minds among northern leaders? One, that things are very hard in Nigeria. Things are not easy for everybody. He says the whole of Nigeria, and of course, especially in the north. And what are the issues he identified? Unemployment. 2, food crisis. 3, insecurity. And the fact that all of these issues, have resulted in anger and frustration on the part of the people. The Sultan went further to now say that, well, against this background, it is the traditional rulers and the religious leaders in the north especially who have been calming the people down and telling them that, look, there is hope, things will improve. But that the situation is so bad that it's getting to a point that, traditional and religious leaders in the north may not be able to calm the people down any further. And therefore, the Nigerian government has an obligation to address the frustration of the people, to address the anger of the people, to address the high level of poverty in the land, and to find jobs for our teeming youths. Okay, this is what everybody has been saying. So these are obvious issues, but amplified on the platform of the Northern Traditional Council. But the Sultan made a point that I think should be underlined. He said that, look, it's not that we lack solutions to problems in this country. It's good, we always come together, but the problem with Nigeria is that at the kind of forum that they had yesterday, People will leave the place with all those solutions. They will leave the solutions behind in the hall and they will go to bed until there is another crisis. Olarotimi, playwright, distinguished professor, had articulated this in one of his writings, in one of his books, which he titled Holding Talks. Nigerians are very good at holding talks. We hold conferences, seminars, but nothing comes after. And the Sultan made the point that, yes, all the suggestions collated yesterday will be passed on to government. But what is important is implementation. As in everything in Nigeria, implementation is always the problem. However, all the issues identified by the Northern Traditional Council and articulated by the Sultan, these issues have been on the table. In the southern part of the country, people are talking about the same thing. The intelligentsia is talking about the same thing. Only last week, the Emir of Kano, His Royal Majesty Adobayero, the Emir of Kano, receiving in audience the First Lady of Nigeria, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, emphasized the same concerns and told Mrs. Tinubu emphatically to tell her husband that his government must deal with the issues of insecurity and poverty and unemployment in the land. But the major point that I think the Sultan made yesterday also is that this is APC to APC government. But what is important is that we must find solutions to our problems so that the restive youths of Nigeria, whether in the north or the middle belt or in the south, do not refuse to be pacified again. Hunger is not a friend of the human system. Hunger can lead to anger. Anger can fuel frustration further. And that is why the Sultan says Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. The government at all levels, federal and subnational, both have a responsibility to make sure that that keg of gunpowder does not explode. They say a word is enough for the wise.
All right, oh my people, now don't use on ears, take here, say don't read for the northern part of the country. Say when the fire, with the common smoke, go begin burn now, say nothing, go feel quench am. And I say make them begin them very quickly because the era of bad luck which they don't bring to this country is too much. When Buhari came, it was still them. Hey, Buhari, our own son, our own. They still use religion, deceive them. This one now still come, Emile Khan, now our turn. Besides, I must say Muslim, don't vote for P2B, he's a Christian, he's an infidel, and blah, blah, blah. And so now they preach for mosque, they walk up and down. Today, I hope so now still they preach, they praise Tinubu. And I don't want here, in fact, say una revolt, muna live and like that. Make Tinubu, they do what you want to do. Don't be waiting on choose. It don't come now. Now help and rig election, rig them into that place. Yakubu Mohammed Habi Mahmoud Yakub. Now so it take help her. Push her, enter there, collect money, put for pocket. Today we they face the warrant. How many politicians are facing what you as an ordinary citizen we are facing? Nobody. Only us they face them. But they are cruising in jeeps, tinted glasses, bulletproof vest and everything. But now me and you, they find how much be cup of Gary. Continue. I say, nah. I beg, go another news.